So it's August 12th, 2022. We're here in Hinkley, New York, at the New York Power Authority's Hinkley Dam. This is a power generation dam that we do some work with for vegetation control. This rock face that you see, earlier in the season we had done some manual backpack spraying and hose dragging to do a herbicide application on all of this rock to keep the vegetation down. At the time the water level was fairly high. You can see the line here as to where we stopped spraying at the time to create a buffer to the water. Since then the water level has gone down significantly, and there's a bunch of brush and trees down here in this area that they've been hoping to treat. We're utilizing a UAV today as kind of a test run to see how it works on some of these types of spot treatments. So we've got the UAV in flight here now, and we're making some applications down here at the bottom of the rocks. This particular area could be treated by just people walking up and down, but the risk of twisting an ankle, having an employee injury, things of that nature are something that we wanted to explore other possibilities. So we've got a T30 DJI spray drone that's working the bottom of this area, and he is just running a pattern back and forth on that, on the green vegetation right now. I'm going to just kind of play some just record here for a bit to kind of show you what we've got. We're flying at just over the top of the vegetation. We've got about a 9-mile-an-hour wind today that's blowing into this rock face, so we're trying to be real careful not to get any drifts, so we're keeping our pattern fairly low and a narrow spray pattern on this. So this today we are applying a 5% spot mix of Rodeo. It's a glyphosate product. It is an aquatic labeled product in the event we inadvertently got any into this water. It is safe for use with that. We're Chase Enterprises, based out of Oswego, New York. We're a vegetation control contractor, and we use all different methods of application. This is one that is fairly new to us. I don't know if you can see it in the film or not, see that application or not, but he's just windrowing this back and forth. Again, this is a DJI T30 spray drone. It's made by the same company that makes a lot of the recreational DJI drones. This one has a 150-pound maximum payload capacity. It carries 8 gallons. It has onboard radar and cameras off the front and back. There's 16 spray nozzles on it. The drone has the ability to fly completely autonomously. Today we're flying it manually on this small patch of vegetation that we're clearing, or that we're treating. Operator's just kind of taking his time today experimenting with this in this particular use application. So this is again, this is the Hinkley Dam in Hinkley, New York. Down here at the end of this is a power generation facility that is making electricity and pushing it out onto the grid for the New York Power Authority. And we're normally providing this service. You can see down the edge of the road there, we do some treatments there, all the way down this road edge, manual treatments off from vehicles and so on. So this is kind of normal work that we do here for NYPA, and today we're just utilizing another method of application. We got a little bit of a breeze there coming in off the water. You can see that it is pushing that herbicide right into the brush that we're trying to treat. So one of the advantages of this, obviously, is we can get right down close to the vegetation that we're treating, so that off-target damage is not as big an issue. Obviously, it's a lot safer for the applicator. Our operator is up here on the top of the hill, well away from the products that are being applied, so there's an environmental advantage in terms of contaminating the operator. Walking up and down the steep slope, is obviously a lot safer the way we're doing it here. He's got two cameras on that drone. One of them looks forward and the other one looks straight down, so we can do kind of some spot treatments and look for particular species that we want to treat. In this case, we're kind of treating everything, and then some of those taller trees in the background over here we're going to treat once we're done with the rest of it. Hanging under that drone, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a black cylindrical object, looks like a soda can. That's an active radar, so that drone is looking 360 degrees around it. One of the problems we found is that radar becomes a little bit troublesome in trying to get close to this vegetation when there's something growing higher than what we're trying to treat next to it, because it sees it as an object, and the drone will not fly any closer to that object than a few I think it's 10 or 15 feet or whatever we set it to. So it gets a little bit difficult. We can shut that off, but obviously the protection that it gives us in collision avoidance doesn't exist when we shut that off. So we're still kind of working through some of those things. This particular drone was built for agriculture, so it was designed to be used on a flat farm field of corn or soybeans or rice or any of those types of things. We're adapting its application to a different use, and as time goes by and new versions of these are created, I'm sure that they'll better address this type of a situation, but we're just utilizing it as best we can in this particular application. Again, we're Chase Enterprises, based out of Oswego, New York. Some of the legal aspects of what's going on here today is from the New York State DEC's perspective. There is you have to have a pesticide. You have to be a pesticide registered business, which we are. We also need pesticide applicators that are certified in certain categories. This particular category I think would be category 3A, which is ornamental and turf, because we are working on the New York Power Authority's property. And then we also need aerial certification because we're operating from an aircraft. And then in addition to that, the FAA has a number of regulations. This is being operated today under our Part 137 certification, which is basically a crop dusting license. That's what all of the airplanes that are doing crop dusting out in the Midwest and all over the country really have to operate under. So we have a 137, which is a permit from the FAA to dispense economic poisons is the actual term used for that, which is what's needed for applying pesticides. And then in addition to that, because this drone is over 55 pounds, it is considered an aircraft, so it operates not under the 107 drone rules, but it operates under Part 61 and Part 91 of the FAA, which are a number of aircraft rules, and we have to get exemptions from some of those rules that we're not allowed or not capable of complying with a unmanned aircraft like this. So I'm going to walk over a little closer. We're getting kind of down in and around some of this vegetation now. The operator of this drone also has to have a 107 license from the FAA, and then in addition to that, he has to have a Class 2 medical certificate from the FAA. So there's quite a list of regulatory hurdles to be able to do this. This isn't something that your average homeowner is going to go out and buy one of these drones and start a business doing this by any means. So it's very closely regulated. The herbicide we're using is EPA registered. It's also registered for use in New York State. It's been approved for aquatic use. This is not an aquatic application in this particular case, but but because we are so close to the body of water, we felt that it was responsible to use something that if it did get into the water, it would not be an issue. That requires an additional certification if we were to make an aquatic application from the DEC, and we have that here today as well. So we've covered all the bases from a regulatory standpoint. We're just kind of taking our time here today to make sure we get all this right where we want it. Normally the production of this is significantly faster. We've got some other videos up that show the production that we can get out of this when we're running over a flat area, windrowing it out. This is kind of a spot treatment that we're just being kind of careful to make sure that we get it where it needs to be, and we're kind of waiting in between gusts of wind here too. Sitting here on the shore of this body of water, the wind is kind of coming and going on us, so we're waiting for the lulls in that. And looks like we're coming back for a new battery. So I'll end this video here. Again, this is Chase Enterprises based in Oswego, New York. Our phone number is 315-216-6337 if you have any questions or would like to talk to us about a job.